Dragonfruit Friday! Welcome back to my series where every Friday I'm introducing you to a different Thai fruit while telling you a little bit more about me. It's week 5 and we're talking about dragon fruit and 5 things I did to step out of my comfort zone and adapt to life in Thailand. This is dragon fruit, or gyao man kon in Thai. It comes in 2 colors, white and red, although it's more like a really deep pink. The best way I can describe them is the texture of a kiwi with a sweet, mild flavor, similar to a grape. Over the years, I've gotten pretty good at spotting the difference between them from the outside. The spikes on the white ones are longer and farther apart, while the red ones are a bit shorter and closer together. I also think the red ones look more round and chubby, while the white are more oblong. Fun fact, these fruits grow off the end of a cactus. I think there's this false perception that you can just drop everything, move across the world, and start living your best life. While that might summarize my story on a macro level, there's a big piece that's not being addressed, and that's months, if not years, of discomfort, awkwardness, and learning that took real effort and real intention. And that brings us to my list of 5 things I did to step out of my comfort zone and adapt to life in Thailand. Number 1, I wrote down super simple goals for myself each week to make adapting to a new reality less daunting. Things like take a sunrise walk on the beach, try a new coffee shop, go to Muay Thai, buy groceries from the local market, drive my motorbike on the main road. Honestly, it might seem silly, but just having those listed as boxes I could check off made the transition feel so much more manageable. Number 2, I pushed myself to be more outgoing, to introduce myself to people and start conversations with strangers. I started with the teachers at my school, and it just grew from there. This one was honestly the most difficult for me because I'm really not that extroverted. In general, I like to keep to myself and the close circles I have. It's not really in my nature to strike up a conversation with a stranger. But moving to a foreign country by yourself gives you a different type of confidence, I guess. Number 3, I said yes to every invitation I received, even if I wasn't sure about it. Dinner? Yes. Thanksgiving party? Yes. Karaoke? Yes. Massage? Yes. Beach day? Yes. Night out? Yes. Did every experience turn out to be a good one? No. But the bad ones turned into great stories, and honestly, this is how I met so many of my closest friends. You never know what can come from one simple yes. So just say yes. Number 4, I made myself do language immersion activities. I would memorize the names of Thai foods I liked and then only let myself order in Thai at restaurants. I might have eaten a lot of somtam, lap gai, and tom khat gai in those first few months, but obviously I've branched out quite a bit. I would also memorize the numbers and names of the fruits and vegetables I wanted to buy and then go to the market trying only to speak Thai with the local vendors. And I still remember being mortified the first time I did this. I walked into the market and immediately I felt like everyone was staring at me. I was so out of place. But I found a woman selling vegetables and I picked up a couple of cucumbers and I said, "Tao rai ka?" I still remember she said, "Yibha baht." And I immediately went into a panic because that was not one of the numbers that I had learned. And after asking a second time, I figured out that yibha is a shorter way of saying yisibha, or 25 baht. So I handed over my money and I ran out of there. I had had enough immersion for the day. And looking back, it seems so silly and like such a simple thing, but I still remember how intimidated I was and how much courage it took for me to continue putting myself into those awkward situations where I didn't quite understand what to do or what to say or where to go. But the truth is, I had to go through all of that in order to get where I am now. And number 5, I had my listening ears and my eyes on at all times. When you're surrounded by people speaking a language that you don't understand, it's really easy to tune it out, which is why it's so important to tune in. Whenever I was around Thai people, I was listening and trying to figure out what they were saying. I'd try to pick out words I knew, and eventually I'd start to recognize patterns or phrases. Beyond that, I was also watching and learning from their behaviors, how they greeted one another, how they ordered their food, how they ate, how they asked for the bill. Honestly, it felt like being a child again and seeing the world with a fresh new set of eyes. But the common denominator that connects all of these things is that I had an open mind and heart throughout the whole process. I didn't simply want to exist as my American self in Thailand. I wanted to adapt and learn to live with the heart of a Thai person. And here I am. So, next week I'm going to answer the question I get most often, which is, how did you learn Thai? But for now, let's circle back to the dragon fruit. I think dragon fruit gets a bad rap. The red dragon fruits make the most beautiful pink smoothies and smoothie bowls, and the white ones are so sweet and refreshing on a hot day. And if you don't like them, you're probably eating them wrong. But I'll tell you the secret. You buy a few white dragon fruits. You put them in the fridge. You forget about them for a couple of weeks. Then, once they've sat there for a long while, getting cold and sweet, you slice one in half and you eat it right out of the peel with a spoon. You're welcome. Thanks for watching this week's Fruit Friday episode. Come back next week for episode 6.